I like to put on YouTube and watch like a 30-minute documentary, which is crazy. It can take months to fully finish a project. As long as people are thinking it's funny, then I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right.
Hey everyone, this is Erin Ashley Simon, and welcome to Real Gems. In this week's episode, we sit down with a creative force in the art of short-form storytelling, who is widely recognized for her comedic impressions and short-form content that is sure to make you laugh. And hey, she makes it all work out for her. Please welcome Yasmine.
Yasmine, it's so great to have you.
Thanks for having me.
You know what? It's so different seeing you like in regular form because I'm so used to seeing you in like a bunch of wigs.
Yeah, people like a lot of people when they see me in real life, they kind of like squint their eyes because I do wigs. I do the Jasper eyes, and so they like they'll see me and they're like, "Are you Yasmine?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I know, but I kind of like it because I feel like it's like kind of like a Hannah Montana moment. Like in real life, a lot of people don't recognize. I mean, yeah, people don't recognize me, so I can still keep like a little bit of myself when I'm off the camera.
Yeah,
and keep
like
my characters,
like the mysteriousness to it.
Yeah.
But what's like I guess what's been a mystery to me that I'm actually very curious to know is like, how did you get into all of it? Because the first shorts that I came across for you, so there's several. There was like the person who peaked in high school. The Jasper one, I think, was the one I laughed the hardest because, like, first of all, I'm gonna ask you about how you do the eye stuff and all that. And then the other one was, I don't know. Oh, it was about like the 2000s rom-com, I think, where it's like the guy with the popular girl and then the other girl comes and you had like your Converse with your dress and you had the sign that says, "I love you," and like all that stuff. And I'm like, yo, that's so real. But like, what made you want to get into all this content creation?
I started off as an actor. First off, I always wanted to do like YouTube and like longer form. I was like part of that generation where like YouTube was really popping off and it was like basically a big form of entertainment. So I wanted to get into that, and then but I've always been an actor, so I've always been doing plays. I've been doing trying to get on like television and movies, and I did a lot of indie stuff. So I went to school for that, and then went to school in LA, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay in LA. I'm gonna do like hit the ground running, thinking that it's so easy. Oh my God, I'll just book a role and then it'll be fine. But it's not that easy. So I was struggling for a good like two years, living in this like tiny ass apartment. I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you can.
So yeah, living in this like tiny apartment, just like always on like that. I hate the grind. Always on, just like trying to hustle. I had like 4 jobs, and then but I always wanted to make my own content because I like having control on what I want to put out and just having something where like I can be creative and experiment and write. I like love to write. And then the pandemic hit. Classic story for a lot of creators. So I lost like 2 of my jobs. So I finally had the time and the space to create and make videos because like both of my roommates moved out during the pandemic. So I had like the apartment to myself for like a little bit. And so I started making these videos and I see all these people popping off on TikTok. I was like, man, let me try this out. Like, I want to get famous off of TikTok. And then so I just started making these comedy videos, just super, super random. One video, I put my like arms through my like sweater holes. And I was like walking like a crab. That got viral. And I was like, oh, I don't want people to remember me like this. So I kept experimenting and finding kind of my niche and what I like to do. And then I finally like hit it with I did a series of going back home and acting like that cool kid from like basically like a Gilmore Girls moment.
Okay.
And that super viral. So I was like, oh, wow. So I started building off of that, finding my audience, and I started experimenting with basically different like television tropes and stuff that I grew up with. So like a lot of my content is nostalgia based because I grew up watching a lot of television. So it paid off. I make most of my content based off of the stuff I watched when I was a kid.
Yeah, and you've been like, there's definitely like specific categories and specific things that like you repeat it, but obviously like not back to back, like the Jasper, the La La Land song. I feel like you own Demi Lovato's La La Land song at this point. You know, talk to us a little bit about that. Why did you pick that song specifically?
It's just like the most like I'm not like other girls type of song. So I unironically love that song. When that song released, like that was my song. I felt like I was that kind of girl who would wear Converse with my dress. Like I thought I was so rebellious and different. And so I like heavily fucked with that song. And then I got older and you re-listen to it and you're like, the song's kind of cringe. It's like I would be like, oh, it's kind of, you know, orgy, but it still hits. And so I made that trope of like, I'm not like other girls. I wear Converse with my dresses. And I, of course, had to use La La Land. And then it just like, it popped off. And I feel like it's also that like a lot of girls can relate to going through that phase when you felt like the other girl and you felt like you were weird and quirky and no one understands you. So it really resonated with a lot of people who were like, oh my God, this was me. And this was also my song. It still is. I still bump to it.
Oh, no, it was funny because like I haven't heard that song in a long time. So when it hit, I was like, oh my God, I remember this because like I grew up, we're probably around the same age or close. Like I grew up around that era too with like Raven Simone, Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, like those Disney kids.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And so when I heard that, I was like, oh wow, this takes me back.
Isn't that crazy? I feel like that's something that I really do like about videos I make. It's like people, they're like, wow, I haven't heard that song in years, or I forgot about this song or moment in pop culture. So it's cool to kind of help revive that.
Yeah. Did you practice the knees? Like, because when you do it?
A little bit. I don't know. I was also a dancer, so I do naturally have strong knees. So, like, I just started doing it. And then people are like, are your knees okay? And I'm like, yeah. I've had a lot of practice with dancing. Grateful for that.
You're lucky. What I like to call them is you have the Megan Thee Stallion knees.
Oh my God.
I do not, because if I get low to a certain point, it stops. Anywhere more, I'm down. Like I can't get back up.
I feel you. I mean, no, that's really an honor. So thank you.
Put it on here. Yeah. Megan Thee Stallion knees. But then, so then the other one that you're part of, that you're known for, is the Jasper. The Jasper face. Yeah. So how did you get into that? And then also like, it's a very like, I don't know. It's just the way that you hold your face. It's like very consistent and it's really funny. And like, that's another thing too. Like, did you have to like watch the video and watch Twilight and then like try and get it?
Don't know. I watched Twilight had this pop off on TikTok when a streaming service, started streaming the series. And so I was watching Twilight. I was such a big fan of the movies when I was growing up. So I was watching the movies, and it actually started off with Edward, because Edward had this line in the movie where he's like, it's the fluorescence, when Bella realizes he has his eyes change color. And at first I made the face using Edward, and then I kept watching it and I was like, oh, Jasper's kind of weird too. So I transferred that over to Jasper, and I feel like it resonated more with Jasper because he just natural. I mean, like that's his whole thing. Like he's holding himself back, which makes no sense for being a vampire for how many years surrounded with a family of vegetarians. I don't know. That's another podcast we can get into. But yeah, I just like exaggerated his face and like really tensed up my body, and people love it. It's like one of my favorite characters to do. And I mean, I don't know when this is going to be released, but like because of the strike, I can't do too many Twilight stuff, so it kind of sucks, but yeah, it's just one of my favorite. That
was when I like definitely laughed out loud. I forget which one specifically, but I mean, I've seen all of them, but like that was the one I was like laughing hysterically, and I was just like, oh my God, because I mean, like, once again, I grew up with Twilight, so I was like, I get it.
Exactly.
Especially when you did the baseball scene. I was like, that was such a random scene in the movie.
It was so, yeah. Yeah. They're just like, there's just so many questions. But let me not get into it.
There's like movies in general. There's so many questions. But I guess another question I have for you is like, you came to LA. Mm-hmm. It wasn't hidden for you when it came to certain acting things. Mm-hmm. Now that you have developed a following for social media and the content that you're doing, how has that helped you on the acting front?
I feel like I've definitely gotten more experiences. So it's weird. It's still a little weird for a lot of creators because you have a platform and you have a reach, and like you get recognized and you get invited to these events, but it doesn't, a lot of like casting directors and executives don't fully grasp. I feel like they don't fully trust a lot of creators to bring them on these $1 million projects, which makes sense because a lot of people like they don't have the training or never been in front of a camera and like stuff like that. So it's like I get it, but it's also it's like it's a new wave of media that people still need to get used to. Mm-hmm. And there's so many times where I would be watching, YouTube or TikTok for hours versus television. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just like a new form of entertainment. In Hollywood is old. So like people are like, a lot of people are afraid of change. And I would say like it has helped me. So like I've gotten into spaces with these amazing casting directors and like actors and entertainers, and even just like making those connections. It's just like being on their mind because sometime in the future when like I release a script or I finally get like a really good role, but they'll see that and they'll make the connection like, oh my God, like I remember meeting her. She's doing really good and she can also act. So let me bring her on a project and stuff like that. So I feel like it's definitely more of a slow burn in this industry, but it's faster than how I used to be back when I was just auditioning and with like no numbers or platform and like nothing was hitting. So it's like, it does require patience, but it's still, I mean, it's been amazing. And like all the opportunities I've gotten and all the amazing people I've connected with.
Does it also, I mean, we don't have to dive too much into it, but like, does it also kind of like help you on the financial side so then you can really focus on like the projects that you want for acting?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's really been a blessing being able to make a living off of it because I also do like, I like to create music, and I also like to create music videos for the music. So it's nice having just the stability to be able to fund these bigger projects that I also want to like get up off from the ground. And it's nice because it's like when you get an audition, I used to have to try to, switch with coworkers and like organize. I work till then, and then I have to go home and do this audition that's due tomorrow morning, versus now, like, I have so much free time, and I don't have to worry about clocking out, or if I book something, I'm gonna have to, reschedule, and then I'm worried about, like, okay, if I book this, the money might not be that good, but I also have a credit, like, all, like, that, like, nitty-gritty stuff. So yeah, it's been helping me out so much.
What is kind of like the misconception, because you come from, obviously when it comes to acting, it's still in a very traditional form, right?
Yeah.
What do you feel like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be Hollywood, but it could just be the acting world. What do you feel like is the misconception that the acting world has about content creation?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like a lot of people think, people, or the misconception is that they loop content creators as they're all, like, influencers who just post pictures and do, like, simple, like, the easiest dances or whatever, which I'm not trying to, like, shade anyone, but it's like, I feel like there's some creators who have gotten, like, super big, and then you'd watch it and you're like, oh, they do, like, dances all day, and it's like, but it's like, it's easy money, like, that's how they make their money, and that's how they're able to, like, get their foot into it. But then again, it's like how I said before, that a lot of these creators and influencers, they don't have the training. Like, I went to school, I don't know, I, like, grew up doing theater, and then went to school for it, and then lived in LA for 2 years, like, doing the grind and auditioning and stuff, and I'm also, like, in classes. So I feel like a lot of people who are in, that network kind of see someone who creates content, and their first thought is like, oh, like, they're an influencer, they do makeup and blah blah blah, but there's a lot of creators who, it takes a lot of production and writing and time to put together these videos. And I feel like some of my videos, it takes, it can take a shorter amount, but then there are other videos where it takes me hours to write. Like, I do these fanfics because I used to read a lot of fanfics, so I would make those recreations in video format, like a satirical fanfic, and writing that, it takes maybe, like, I don't know, 15, 30 minutes, like, trying to get the idea, and then, like, trying to crunch it down to a minute, and then editing that it can take me up to, I know it's crazy, but 6 hours to edit 1 minute TikTok of a fanfic, because I'm sourcing in clips, and then I have to go back and rewrite. It's like, so I feel like a lot of people don't, like, I don't know, like, it does take a lot of effort and work to release content. And again, it may look easy for a lot of these creators and influencers, like setting up a camera and blah blah blah, but there's just so much behind the scenes that they don't realize. And I think it's also because social media, it's like, everything's filtered, like, people post to make their lives look easy, and people make, like, some videos, it looks like you, like, set up camera, blah blah blah, but there is, granted, I do think, I'm not being like, my job's hard, like, I'm super grateful for it, and I know that I would rather do this than, like, going back to working at restaurants and the food industry. But it still takes a lot of work behind the scenes and editing, and I don't have a team, and that's another thing. A lot of people think that if you're an influencer, you have money. Nope, there are so many. For so long, I did not have money while doing this. I'd work and then go straight home, make videos, and that would be my whole day, just all working until I was able to get, a really good brand deal and, like, fully get the ball rolling. So it's It's work.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I also think that whenever something looks easy, that's just a testament to that person's skills, right? Because like even when I do hosting, TV broadcasting, all that stuff, and sometimes people are like, "Oh, you make it easy." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's like all the experience and the training and stuff. Like that's good that I'm making it look easy because that's my job. Like it's supposed to be like that." And with your job too, I think it's very unique because you get to see the value of long form and short form, right? Short form content, but then long form in terms of like theatricals and just more extended storytelling. And I know everyone always pits short form against long form. There's value in both.
Yeah.
So from your experience, what is the value in short form storytelling versus long form storytelling?
I think short form, it can be the fastest way to grow, especially with TikTok, Shorts, Instagram Reels. You can post multiple videos a week and then grow like crazy. And like you can just quickly get your fan base and build your fan base. And I think long form is where you really can make the connection. It also varies, like different people make different type of short form videos where you can get that connection through a short form video. But I feel like long form, it's like, it's nice to sit down and watch something without having to endlessly scroll. So you get kind of like a deeper connection. And I always feel like through long form, you get to know the person better, and it's easier. I won't say easier, but it's more guaranteed to make more lasting fans and supporters through long form content because of long form, it does take longer to produce, to write, to edit. So it's like viewers have that appreciation for creators, actors, whatever, when they see long form content. I'm also someone who, like, doing my makeup, I like to put on YouTube and watch like a 30-minute documentary, which is crazy. So many. Do you watch YouTube documentaries?
I watch a lot of YouTube long form stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So much work goes into that. It's insane. Like the production quality off of, I don't know, it just blows my mind. But it's nice to like sit down and watch it. And again, it's like, even if I'm doing my makeup or, housekeeping, it's like you still have that appreciation for all that work that goes into the long form. So, but then again, long form, it takes longer.
Yes.
Like, so it can take months to fully finish a project. So they both have their pros and cons. But like, yeah, I feel like short form, easier route to get into the industry. And then long form is just like, stabilize your roots in the industry.
And having the combination of both in some shape or form does really help over time.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about like, is there a specific acting method that you lean into for short form that maybe a little bit, maybe it's something that you're used to, or is it something different, or do you have to get like out of your comfort zone acting wise when you're doing the short form content?
I think acting wise, I exaggerate a lot in short form because it's quick, so you had to get their attention really fast. So a lot of my like tropes I build up a lot, and it's like because people are just swiping so much, I learned that the more exaggerated a character is, the more likely it will be kind of like pushed into the algorithm, or people like think it's funny and reshare, because long form, it's typically more of like on a bigger screen, so it's like you can't do something too big, but yeah, I don't know, do you want me to say like I use Stanislavski's method or something?
Whatever you want to, like
just kind of like goofy, funny. I love absurdism, so I try to incorporate that into a lot of my videos.
Okay, nice. Yeah. No, it's so funny. You were like, wait, do you want me to like break it down?
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
like-
No, I mean, so the reason why I have Real Gems is like I wanted to be a place that content creators can really talk about their experience and really be real about things, because it goes back to what you're saying. There's so much misconceptions around content creators where it's like, hey, oh, you're a content creator, you're an influencer, and you probably do dancing stuff.
Yeah,
No, some people are like actors, some people are broadcasters, some people are just like, some people just do it for fun.
No, exactly. It's like, I hate when people just lump everyone in anything, and they're just like, you do this, so this makes you you. I'm like, no, there's like so many facets of this industry, and we're also still in the industry. It might be newer, but it's still entertainment.
It is, and I've also seen people who have, like yourself, used content creation as a way to get further into the traditional area. So, like, for example, I've seen people like King Vader. Oh my gosh, what's her last name? I don't want to mess it up. Anna. Oh my gosh, why am I going blank? Oh, Anna Akana. And then like there's other people who like use social media and like it actually propelled them into like more traditional acting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
it's possible.
It is.
Yeah.
And for those who are into acting and, you know, maybe are considering the content creation route but don't know how it works, will it work out, all these different things.
Yeah.
Like, what advice do you have for the actors that want to utilize content creation to help their careers?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you're not losing anything. You're not, it's just like, no one's going to be like, you make content? No. You know, it's like, it's going to help you regardless. There's going to be, and of course, it might not be good the first time you start, but that's like every other, form of media. It's like writing, directing. When they start, of course, it's not going to be good, but you're going to practice and get better at it. But it's also like, you never know. You never know who's watching. And I've heard from, like directors that they do appreciate actors who know what it's like to write, to direct, to film, because it makes you way more rounded as a person and as an entertainer, and you can go on a set and you'll know how things work, and just like do it. I don't know, it's fun. It like creates your creative juices going. I started doing it because I don't always like having my fate in someone's hands, and doing the audition and then playing the waiting game and being like, are they going to call back? Am I going to be pinned for this? And then after being pinned, is this like movie or whatever going to take off? So I like having like a little bit of control in, I'm going to film this and I'm going to post it and people are going to watch it, and I'm the star of it, and I can hire my best friend, and I have a friend who also does sound and lighting, and it's just like, it's like a really cool, collaborative, fun way to be creative on top of like building your resume, because I mean, that's like where people in this age, like, we are truly blessed and grateful to have our iPhones can shoot in 4K. So the resources aren't as limited as they used to be. So I fully like go for it. If you have an idea, start writing, get a group going. It helps when you have creative friends to be collaborative, and just do it. There's nothing to lose.
There really isn't.
Yeah.
There's nothing to lose. And maybe it can create other opportunities that you never expected from it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, maybe you can have your own production company, or maybe, like there's other things.
And that's the move.
It is.
Like, especially, I mean, it's like what we're seeing right now. You have your own production company. Treat everyone fairly, and you are the boss of everything. I feel like there's so many creatives and like people who like Issa Rae, I always bring her up. She did that through her YouTube channel. Donald Glover is another person who's like, he's a very creative person, and then he's like made this huge platform in music and acting and writing. So I go for it.
Just do it. Yeah. Go for it.
I'm here to support you. Yeah.
And with you giving that advice, how do comment and feedbacks from your followers, how does that play into the shaping of your content strategy?
Ooh, comment and feedback. I mean, I don't know. I feel like as long as people are thinking it's funny, then I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right. I notice, like, the more comments, the more, I mean, granted, I feel like it differs for different people, but, like, the more a video has comments, the more I'm like, oh, okay, like, something's working here. Feedback, I feel like, yeah, I do get sometimes recommendations from followers of like, you should do this, or like, please, like, go back to this fanfic. I get a lot of like Pedro Pascal requests. I know I need to finish the story. Like, people listening, they're probably like, what is she talking about? I have this kind of mini fanfic of Pedro Pascal.
Ooh.
But like through video, but those take a long ass time to edit and create. So please be very patient. So yeah, I just like, I don't know if I have like a straight answer, but I don't know. Yeah, people think it's funny, then I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. Yeah.
It helps in some shape or form, right? Like it's a guiding metric. Sometimes you get good feedback. You're like, oh, I didn't think of that, or anything like that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And people like, I mean, I feel like so many of my followers, they like get my humor. So like the comments, someone would say something really funny, and I'm like, damn, that's a really good joke. And then like I try to like incorporate like that into my next video, and like or get inspired by what people say in the comments section, because like people are just so funny. So yeah, just like, I don't know if that was like,
no, listen, hey, whatever you want to answer. Yeah. I never want to constrict, like, hey, I want this specific answer, because that's just, it's a free-flowing conversation,
Exactly.
What is your long-term goal?
Okay, I always get this question, and I always give this answer.
Oh.
My goal is to be, I mean, I already named them, Issa Rae, Donald Glover, to be like a Renaissance woman. I want to write a television series. I already started writing it, so I want to be able to produce and write a television series on top of being in the music industry, being really strong at that, and also being behind the scenes of production, and honestly maybe owning my own production company. So yeah, just being an all-around entertainer, and trying to be like a top dog at it.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because that's like kind of what I'm doing too.
Yeah,
but like,
I love that.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know. I've always been a person, I was like, I don't like everyone trying to like confine me into one box.
Same. Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to, like, there's so many things I want to do, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to go do it.
Yeah, dude. It's like, again, like, why not? And it's also, I feel like it's so much more impressive when I find like an actor and I discover they also do music, or they also own a production company. Like, they're just not just an actor. And I feel like I was like my old school, hopefully they don't come after me, but my old school like that I graduated from, they had an amazing like theater program, but the thought process was like, you have to dedicate your life to being an actor. You have to live, eat, breathe, sleep it. You have to be able to like hop right on that audition and blah blah blah, and to get that role. And you could be doing this for 10 plus years until you hit that one role, and it's like, why do I want to just confine myself to this one thing for 10 years and struggle? And I can't like well, what if I also want to sing? And what if I want to dedicate 5 years to that? And then dedicate another 3 years to being an actor? And then dedicate another 2 years to podcasting? And then dedicate like 10 years to like, I don't know, raising a family and like being, you know, like living my life. So that's what I'm always, and I've always been like this. Like, I just love being so hands-on and like trying new things and just like trying to be as creative as possible. And creativity, you don't always have to monetize it too. You can be creative in your home. It's okay if you want to just like find a hobby and then just have that hobby to yourself. That's another thing I like to preach of, just, I don't know, like living that soft life. You can do the grind, and you can, like, there's nothing bad with, like, working hard, but it's also, like, there's nothing bad with just, like, sitting back and getting the chance to just, like, be with yourself and, like, just enjoy life.
Yeah. And sometimes, like, there's nothing wrong with slowing down for a little bit.
Exactly.
You know, you don't have to always be go, go, go. Sometimes slowing down and maybe taking a step back will help you take a few steps forward.
Exactly.
And that's something I had to learn. I feel like in my 20s, I was like, I gotta do this. But now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, no, I can kind of slow down a little bit here and there when I need to.
And I feel like there's definitely, like, society-wise, like, I do feel like it's leaning more towards advocating for taking life slower. And because I remember in my 20s, it was all about go, work. This kid got a house at age 22. Like, that's stuff. So, and like now I'm 26 right now, but I'm starting to really like appreciate kind of just like walking through life and like, you know, taking the time to just be. And I'm finally picking up hobbies for the longest time.
What hobbies?
I pole dance.
My friend's doing that, actually. It's a good workout.
It's a good workout.
Yeah.
Those girls are strong.
They really are.
That's what I'm trying to do. Or I'm just trying to like be like, I don't know, when they climb up that pole. So I pole dance. I started painting. I started just like going on walks. I just walk for hours, and it's like the best way to just clear your mind. And I also have cats, and like though like it's like not, I don't know if you count that being a hobby, but it's like taking care of another being like helps you slow down and appreciate like I don't know, like the little things and watching them scurry around, and even just like cleaning up their messes. It's like, I don't know, it's like, oh, like you're mine. Like I'm taking care of you, and like watching you grow, and like you drive me crazy, and you're fucking up my couch, but like you're mine, and like you're like, yeah, my squishies. So yeah.
No, I 100% understand. I've been like, I don't know if necessarily like fully hobbies, but just like there's things that I want to do in life. Like I want to travel more, so I'm doing that a little bit more. Want to try new things and different things. Like I have a list of stuff I want to try, and you know, I 100% agree in terms of like finding the things outside of your work to like fulfill yourself, because you have to fulfill yourself. You can't have your career be that thing that fulfills you. It never works out. It never works out like that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I used to think. I thought, if I become an actor, I am going to like, that's what I want. Yeah. Like that, I made it. If I'm like winning Oscars and Emmys and I'm an actor, and then just like the older you get and like the more you're in this industry, you start to feel so empty and alone because you're just constantly chasing. So yeah, and like I feel like I don't like those are also my goals, but it's like I don't feel like I'm always on the prowl and the hunt to like get there.
It's like your work's not tied to that.
Exactly. And it's just like now I feel like my life with like, you know, I have like an amazing group of friends. Like and my cats and like my family, like my sister, and her, like now she has a family because like I have a nephew now. So it's like it keeps you grounded and just full. And also, if you're going to be in this industry that's always changing and you never know what's going to happen, you never know when your next check is coming in, it keeps you from going crazy because you have something to look forward to other than, your next booking.
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
I do hosting. So like I have other things that keep me afloat
Mm-hmm.
because right now everything's kind of shut down. So it'd be like that a little bit. But my last question is, it's just a fun question because I hear that you're into music.
Yes.
This may be I'll give you a little bit to think about it. Okay. Take your time. That's what editing's for.
Okay.
What are the top 3 best songs of all time?
Holy shit. Oh, God.
Take your time.
Of all time?
Yeah. And why for each one? Fuck. Take your time.
Okay. Okay. First one's a little corny. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
You got everything in one song. So, classic karaoke song, classic rock song. So, that. Paramore's Misery Business. Enough said. So good. And it's like, you don't even have to like, punk. So, you don't have to like the genre to like relate to that song and love that song. So Bohemian Rhapsody, Misery Business. My last one. Oh my God. I'm trying to like go through my playlists right now.
It's okay. That's what editing's for.
Yeah. I have to edit a big chunk right now. All time.
What speaks to your heart? Like, you close your eyes. What's the first one that comes out?
Oh my God. I'm like torn between these 2 artists because there's some drama between them at the Grammys. So I want to say a Harry Styles song and I want to say a Beyonce song.
How about we go with Beyonce because of the Renaissance tour. Okay, so what song?
I just went to her concert. So I would say Alien Superstar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
It's just like, it's like magical, empowering, and the message is, wait, not me about to change my answer, because now I'm trying to go to her Lemonade album. No, let me keep it simple. So Alien Superstar. It is like, it's just, it makes you feel good and, owning who you are. You are different, but you are beautiful. I feel like I listen to it and I'm like transforming into my highest self. And it is just, it just makes you feel good. It's just, that's what you are. Wait, I can't like say like the lyrics, but no, it's so like yeah, okay. Yeah.
Hey, those are 3 good songs, I have to say, really good. And I love how you like diversified it. You got like the old school. Diverse, yeah. Me too. Oh, listen, I still am, but I was a big Paramore stan.
Oh my.
Love them. I listen to music all over different genres, so like that's why I was like, ooh, I love the mixture. Yeah. Well, Yasmine, we're at the end of Real Gems. I'm so happy you joined us today.
Thank
For
you.
everyone who's tuning in, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Yasmine_Sahid. You can find me on TikTok, Lady Yasmina1. You can find me on YouTube, Yasmine Sahid. And you can also find me on Spotify, Lady Yasmina. So, yeah. Take a gander.
You got all the platforms.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you so much for joining
Thank
today.
you so much for having me. This was amazing.
Yeah, I had so much fun. It's just so great for me to like, especially because look at your content, just to learn more about you.
Aw,
I thought that was really
thank you.
cool. Yeah. So now when I watch, I'd be like, oh wow, okay.
On the
So
behind the scenes.
I feel like it's gonna be a different experience now since I was able to chat with you. But yeah, thank you once again.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for having
of course. And thank you to all of the listeners and viewers for tuning in. Let me know, what was your favorite part of today's Real Gems? She dropped a lot of gems, and she also dropped some songs for you to go check out if you would like to. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and follow. All the above. And we're going to have some really great guests coming up soon enough, so you do not want to miss out. Until then, I'll see you all later. My name is Erin Ashley Simon. Bye.
Bye.